Hi, my name's Christina, and this will be our first yoga class together. So go ahead and find a comfy place, grab your yoga mat or a towel, and I'll pray us in. Father God, I just thank you so much for this time that we'll get to draw near to your presence, for this time that we'll get to just breathe in who you are and the peace that you bring to our lives, and just breathe out all the chaos and worries, all the craziness that comes with starting a new year. God, I just ask that you would join each and every one that is watching, that you would draw near to them, that you would give them strength, that you would give them focus, that you would give them wellness. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So this is your first yoga class, or you're an experienced yoga practitioner. This can be a way to just get to know me, Christina, and get to know yourself and your yoga practice. So light a candle maybe, turn on the heat or the AC, and grab your mat. So let's just start at the top of your mat. We're going to take mountain pose. So go ahead and just roll your shoulders back, slightly tucking your pelvis towards your tummy and pushing your thigh bones behind you. Just begin to kind of rock forward onto the balls of your feet and backward onto your heels. Just beginning to feel the connection between your feet and your mat or your towel. We've got our palms facing the front of the room, our chin gently tucked, our eyes either closed or with a softened gaze, kind of looking at the world through eyelashes. We'll just rock back and forth here until you can kind of rock back on your heels, lift up your toes, spread them out wide, and then flatten out onto the mat, kind of starfishing them onto the mat. Again, rolling those shoulders back, gently tilting your pelvis towards your belly button, and breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. So just big breaths in through your nose, out through your nose. Just letting all the concerns of the day just melt away. It's just you, your mat, and the presence of the Lord here. Let's go ahead and set an intention for this practice. What's something that the Lord's bringing to mind that you can have your mental focus on as we go through this yoga practice together? Is it something He's been speaking to you about? Something you've been wrestling with that you want to let go of? Or for me, maybe it's just peace. It tends to be peace a lot of times when I do my practices. God, I just pray that you would give us each an intention that is what you have for us in this moment, God. Lord, your word is timeless, but your voice is timely. So I just pray for a timely intention for each and every one of us. On your next inhale, we're going to take both hands up to the sky, reaching up, 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 and then gently folding forward into a forward bend. Let's go ahead and reach for our elbows and heel toe our feet open so that we've got one foot on either side of the mat. And we're going to come into ragdoll. So just shifting your weight left to right as you let the crown of your head fall towards your mat, letting gravity do its job, pulling the crown of your head, your neck, and all of your spine nice and long towards the mat. You can begin to shift your weight from left to right, gently bending your left knee, and then your right, gently shifting your weight from one side to the other. Maybe you decide to bend those knees a little more deeply as you shift your weight left to right. Just letting your head hang long, letting your back and shoulders get that stretch towards the mat as you kind of swing like a pendulum, left to right. Good, and finding a place of stillness. We'll go ahead and heel toe our feet back together. Inhaling halfway up, flat back. Exhaling down to the mat. Inhaling all the way up. And exhaling back to our mountain pose. Let's take another big inhale up to the sky. Exhale down to the mat. Inhale halfway up, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up once again. Let's hold those hands together at the very top. And inhale. Up, 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 elongating that spine. Gently tucking that pelvis. And then exhaling over to the right. This is what's called Bikram half moon. And here in Bikram half moon, we're doing our best to keep our underarms facing the front of the room and keeping both hips square to the front of the room. So we're really getting a nice lateral line stretch down the left-hand side of the body as we bend over to the right. And it's okay if you're going in the opposite direction. Just make sure to do the other side next. So as you breathe in, think about elongating that spine nice and long. And as you breathe out, think about bending over just a teensy bit more to the right. Great. And then inhaling back up to center, nice and tall. Inhaling nice and long, and then exhaling over to the other side. Again, keeping your underarms facing the front of the room and keeping both hips squared to the front of the room. And as you bend over to the left, go ahead and root that right foot. Excellent, getting that nice stretch. Inhaling back up to center. Big inhale, nice and long. And then exhale, taking it maybe just a foot or two back behind you, taking a gentle back bend. Remember to breathe here, in through your nose, out through your nose. Gently continuing to tuck that pelvis to avoid any additional strain on your lower back. We don't want that. Inhaling and exhaling a teensy bit further backward. It's okay if you're quivering, that means your abs are working. Remember to tuck that pelvis. And then exhale with a gentle swan dive forward. Inhale halfway up, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up, big. And exhale back down to the mat. This time we're going to step back with our left foot, coming into a runner's lunge. Inhaling here. I'm going to go ahead and tilt the screen. So we're here in our runner's lunge, and we're going to inhale. And then we're going to exhale, pushing back to our downward dog. So here in our downward dog, we are going to be pushing our sit bones up towards the sky. So those sit bones are those two bones. Just tucking my shirt in. Those two bones that you sit on. We're shooting those sit bones up to the sky. We've got our fingers all starfish, all spread out. Our heels are gently hovering above the ground. We're pushing the balls of our feet into the mat, pushing our sit bones up to the sky. And we're pushing our forehead and our underarms towards the mat. Excellent. You should feel a great stretch down the backs of your legs. Great. Then we're going to inhale that left leg upward, coming into three-legged dog, feeling that stretch down the back of that right leg. We're going to exhale as we step it back through, coming into that runner's lunge once again. And it's totally fine if you need to help that foot get where it needs to be. Inhale here. Exhale, step together. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, back down to the mat. Stepping back with your right foot this time. Inhaling here in your runner's lunge. Exhaling as you push it back for another down dog. Pushing those sit bones up to the sky. This time we're going to inhale that right leg up to the sky, getting that nice stretch down the left leg. Breathing here in your three-legged dog. Exhaling as you step it through to your runner's lunge on the other side. Inhaling here. As we kind of shine our hearts forward. Exhale, step together. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. And exhaling back down to your mat. Stepping back with your right foot this time. Inhaling here in your lunge. Exhaling as you push back to your downward dog. Breathing here. And then we're gently going to bend those knees, coming onto all fours. We want our shoulders over our wrists. We want our hips directly over our knees. We're going to inhale here with a flat back, neutral spine. And then we're going to exhale as we shoot that spine up towards the sky, gently tucking our chin towards our pelvis, bringing our belly button up to the sky like an angry Halloween cat. And then we're going to inhale as we lower that belly, filling up that big chest cavity and tummy with fresh oxygen. And then exhale as we push back up into that angry Halloween cat. Really exaggerating the movement as you tuck your chin, feeling that stretch down your shoulders. And then inhale. These are called cat-cows, so you can go ahead and move at your own pace as you inhale here in your cow. And then exhale into your angry Halloween cat. And you can go ahead and inhale and exhale your own pace. In through your nose, out through your nose. Go ahead and take some little half neck rolls. And maybe go all the way around. You can go ahead and walk your hands a teensy bit forward and take some hip circles. Making big circles with those hips. First in one direction, and then in the other. Make them as big as you can. Really lubricating those joints. Continuing to wake up this body. Maybe taking a second to remember that intention. What was it you wanted to be thinking about and focusing on? What's the Lord speaking? Finding a place of stillness here in your all fours. Coming back up so that you've got your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Tucking those toes and pushing back up into that down dog once again. We're going to inhale that left leg high, coming into three-legged dog. And this time we're going to bend at the knee, coming into that real graceful dog peeing on a fire hydrant pose. We're going to take little ankle circles. Drawing little circles on the ceiling with your toes. First in one direction, and then in the other. Continuing to push your underarms and your forehead towards the mat. And then opening it up for bigger circles with your knee, taking big hip circles as you draw big circles on the ceiling with your knee. Then finding a place of stillness as you extend that leg long, stepping it through as you exhale, creating room in that chest cavity to bring that knee forward. And like I said before, it's okay if you need to help it get there with your hand. Inhaling in your runner's lunge to shine your heart forward. Exhale, step together. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, down, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, meeting your hands at the very top. Exhaling back down to a forward fold once again. This time we're going to step back with our right foot. Inhaling here in our runner's lunge. Exhaling as you push back to your down dog. Inhaling that right leg high, bending it at the knee, opening up for that dog on a fire hydrant once again. Taking little circles with your ankle on the ceiling. Taking those big circles with your knee. Really opening up that hip. Getting that inner thigh moving. Continuing to push your forehead and your underarms towards your standing leg. Finding a place of stillness as you extend that leg long up in the air. And then exhaling as you step it through. Coming into your runner's lunge once again. Inhaling here. Exhaling as you step together. Inhaling halfway up, flat back. Exhaling down. Inhaling all the way up. Then exhaling as you forward fold once again. Stepping back with your left foot. Inhaling in that runner's lunge. Exhaling as you push it back to your downward dog. Inhale, this time we're going to float forward to a plank position. So you've got your shoulders over your wrists. We've got that whole kind of straight line going on with our upper body and our lower body. No butts up in the air. It's not a down dog. It's a plank. So you might feel your abs starting to quiver as I continue to talk to you. It's okay. Breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. And then we'll gently bend our elbows as they graze the sides of our body. Taking it down to the mat. It's called a chaturanga. Then we're going to inhale as we float our hands by our lowest rib, pushing all 10 toenails into the mat, coming into baby cobra. Exhale back down to the mat, laying down as I disappear, tucking those toes, pushing all the way back to your down dog. We'll inhale that left leg high. Exhale as we step it through. Inhaling here in your runner's lunge. Exhale as you step together. Inhale halfway up, flat back, rolling those shoulder blades back. Exhale down, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, taking those hands up to the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, forward fold all the way back down. Stepping back with the right foot this time. Inhaling here in your runner's lunge. Exhale as you push it back to your down dog once again. Inhale as you float forward to your plank. Exhale, chaturanga down. This time we're going to push up to king cobra. So in king cobra, you've got your thighs, the tops of your feet, and your hands all pushing into the mat, rolling your shoulders back. Excellent. Tucking those toes, pushing back up to that down dog. We're going to inhale that right leg high. Exhale, stepping it through into your runner's lunge. Inhaling here. Exhale, step together. Inhale halfway up, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up to the top. Exhaling back down. Stepping back with our left foot. Inhaling here in your runner's lunge. Exhale, pushing back to your down dog. Inhale as you float forward to your plank. Exhale as you chaturanga halfway this time. Flip those feet, pushing those toenails into the mat. Coming into up dog. So in up dog, our whole upper body and our legs besides our feet are floating above the mat. We've got our shoulders rolling back. Excellent. Tucking your toes, pushing back to the down dog. Inhaling that left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale as you step it through. Inhaling here as we roll those shoulders back, shining our hearts forward. Exhale, step together. Inhale halfway up, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Exhaling back down to the mat, stepping back with our right foot this time. Inhaling here. Exhaling as we push it back. That down dog. Inhaling as we float forward to our plank. And from here on out, it's up to you. Whether you take baby cobra, king cobra, or up dog. It's totally up to you what you choose to include in your flow. The yoga class is here to serve you. You are not here to achieve the yoga class, to win the yoga class. Yoga is not a competition. It's for your body, whatever you need today. Exhaling down. Inhaling up into your baby cobra, king cobra, or up dog. I'm doing king cobra this time. Tucking your toes. Pushing back to your down dog. Inhaling that left leg high. Exhaling as you float it through. And inhaling up this time as we float up to our very first crescent lunge of the practice. So here in our crescent lunge, we've got both feet facing 12 o'clock, facing the front of the room. Got that front knee bent. That back leg is nice and straight. That back heel is hovering above the mat. We're keeping our ears over our shoulders, over our hips. Let those pinky fingers reaching towards one another. Breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. And exhaling as you take it back down to the mat. Pushing back to your down dog. Inhaling that right leg high. Exhaling as you step it through. Inhaling as you float up to your crescent lunge on the other side. And you never want to rush the stretch. You can kind of start at like a 3 or a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, we don't start and just go, poof. We start 3 or a 4 and then gently sink deeper, maybe to like a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. As you get more experience in your practice, you can go a little deeper. Exhaling down to the mat, pushing back to our down dog. Inhaling as we float forward to our plank. Exhaling as we move through our flow. Inhaling that left leg high. Exhaling as we step it through. Inhaling back up to that crescent lunge. I love this song. Breathing here in your crescent lunge. Exhaling as you bring your hands to heart center. Taking it over to the left for a spinal twist. So we're taking our right elbow to the outside of our left foot. Yeah, this song helped me have faith during a lot of tough transitions. My flesh may fail, but you never will. I'm broken inside, but I give you my life. Amen. Taking both hands down to the mat, pushing back up to a down dog. Inhaling that right foot high. Exhaling as we take it through. Inhaling up to our crescent lunge on the other side. Exhaling our hands to heart center. Rolling those shoulders back. And then coming in for the spinal twist. Resisting the urge to kind of collapse onto that front thigh. We're going to use our torso to keep us on a nice diagonal. Your spirit's strong in me. Even if you're feeling weak, His spirit's strong in you. Taking both hands down to the mat, pushing up to your down dog. And moving through your flow as you inhale forward to your plank. Remember, spirit's strong in you. As you exhale down, chaturanga. Inhaling up to your baby cobra, king cobra, or up dog. Exhaling back down. Tucking those toes as you push up to that down dog. Inhaling that left leg high. Exhaling as you step it through. This time we're going to take that back foot flat. Moving into our first warrior one. So as you settle into your warrior one, let's check your feet. That front foot is facing 12 o'clock. That back foot is right in between 2 and 3 o'clock. Our torso and our hips are doing their best to square to the front of the room. Again, we've got our ears over our shoulders, over our hips. And we've got those pinkies looking towards each other, and we're hugging those ears with those biceps. Breathing here. And exhaling as we take both hands down to the mat, pushing back to our down dog. Inhaling that right leg high. Exhaling as you step it through. Inhaling as you float up to your warrior one on the other side. Again, checking those feet. Front foot is at 12, back foot's between 2 and 3. Hips are facing the front of the room, along with your shoulders. And you've got that knee kind of centered between your second and third toe. In through your nose, out through your nose. Exhaling down to the mat. Pushing back to your down dog. Inhaling forward to your plank. And moving through your flow, your vinyasa. Chaturanga down. Inhaling up to your cobra or up dog. Tucking your toes, pushing all the way back up to that downward dog. Inhaling that left leg high. Exhaling as you step it through for your lunge. Inhaling as you float up right through that warrior one into our first warrior two of the practice. So the easy way to remember warrior one and warrior two is in warrior two, your arms are in two opposite directions. Warrior one, they're in one direction. So in warrior two, we've got that front foot facing 12 o'clock. That back foot is somewhere between 2 and 3 o'clock. We've got our hips, so maybe take your hands to your hips for a second here. We've got those hips facing the side of the room. So use your hands and tilt those hips to face the side of the room, and then look what your knee did. Your knee probably followed your hips. We gently want to bring that knee back into alignment with that second and third toe. So you'll feel the tension in your pelvic region. That's okay, it's supposed to feel that way. So we live in the tension, right? So you've got the tension of trying to keep those hips facing the side of the room, and that knee centered between the second and third toe. It's a strengthening stretch, and it's good for you. Inhaling those arms back into position. Your torso is facing the same direction as your hips. And our gaze is over our front hand. Breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. Let's flip that front palm. Keep the knee bent, that front knee, keep it bent, and gently reverse your warrior. So that back hand is either above or beneath your knee. You're keeping that front knee bent. Your gaze is up to the ceiling, and you're getting that nice stretch on the left side. Breathing into that stretch, resisting the temptation to straighten that front knee, feeling the strengthening in those inner thighs, and then gently rotating forward as we come into extended side angle. So in extended side angle, you've got your left elbow over your left knee. We've got our right hand over our right ear. And we're feeling the opposite stretch down the right side of our body. Now to make sure you're not putting too much weight on that front knee, you should be able to wiggle your elbow. You can't wiggle it, you got too much weight on it. And then let's windmill that arm down to the mat, placing both hands down to the mat, pushing back to our down dog. The sit bones up to the sky. Inhaling that right leg high. Exhaling as you step it through. Windmilling our arms open. To the warrior two on the other side. Rolling those shoulders back. And again, checking your feet. Front foot's at 12. Back foot's between 2 and 3. And bringing your hands to your hips. Squaring off those hips to the side of the room. Moving that knee back to where it belongs. Setting between the second and third toe. Feeling the tension as we strengthen that inner thigh, solar plex, pelvic region. Inhaling those arms back to position. Gaze over your front hand. Rolling your shoulders back. Breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. Maybe taking a second to remember your intention. What was the Lord speaking? As your body warms up, so does your spirit. We push ourselves in the physical so we can grow in the spiritual. That's what we believe. At least that's what I believe. Maybe you'll believe it too after we finish our class. Flipping that front palm, gently taking it back to reverse your warrior. Breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. Careful not to press on the outside of your knee with that back hand. Resisting the urge to straighten that front knee. Keeping it bent. Gently taking it forward into extended side angle. Breathing as you take that left arm over your left ear. That right elbow rests on the right thigh. And then gently windmilling that arm down to the mat, taking both hands to the mat, pushing those sit bones up to the sky, coming back to down dog. Inhaling forward to your plank. Exhaling as you move through your flow, whichever one is available to you. Maybe you take the modification. Maybe your body has had about enough at this point. So come down to your knees and do kind of a traditional girl push-up. Keeping those elbows along the sides of your rib cage, then flattening out those legs, pushing up into your cobra or up dog. Tucking those toes once again, and pushing those sit bones up to the sky. Inhaling that left leg high. Exhaling as you step it through. Windmilling those arms into your warrior two once again. Straightening that front knee this time. Bending at the waist, leaning towards me as far as you can. Someone's pulling your left hand all the way to the front of the room. And then tick-tock, open to the side, moving into triangle. So here in triangle, we've got both legs straight. Our feet are still the same, so front foot at 12, back foot between 2 and 3. We're using the inside of the back of our left hand to push on the inside of that front leg, kind of pushing us into a spinal twist as we take that right hand into alignment right over our right eye. Finding a place of focus. If you're finding it hard to keep your balance, you can kind of increase the width of your stance, creating more space in between your feet. The wider your stance, the more balance you'll have. Kind of like the same way an F-250 or F-150 truck has a lot more balance than a Jeep Wrangler because the wheels are farther apart. Don't get me wrong, I love Jeep Wranglers. Inhaling upward. Just take that left arm high, reversing your triangle. Again, using that back arm not on the outside of your knee. Keeping your left hand upward, kind of right in alignment with your left eye. Maybe taking a teensy bit further back, feeling that inner thigh stretch on that back leg. At least I can. And then windmilling those arms forward, taking both hands down to the mat, pushing those sit bones back up to the sky. Inhaling that right leg high. Exhaling as you step it through. Windmilling those arms open to that warrior two once again. Inhaling that front leg straight. Bending at the waist, all the way forward, like someone's pulling your right hand to the front of the room. And then tick-tocking open. Taking the inside of that right hand to the inside of the front leg. And that left hand floating right in alignment over your left eye. Maybe using the back of that right hand to push you into that spinal twist. Just roll those shoulder blades back. Breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. Windmilling that arm, bending that front knee, taking both hands down to the mat, pushing those sit bones up to the sky. Inhaling as you float forward to your plank. Exhaling as you move through your flow. Tucking those toes, pushing back up to your down dog. And then here from your down dog, You may crawl, jump, or handstand to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. And exhale back to mountain pose. Back to mountain pose. I'm going to check to make sure you can still see me as we move into some balance poses. So you can see my body but not my face. There we go. So we're going to move into a couple of balance poses. I will demonstrate for you. We're going to shift our weight onto our left leg, taking our right foot either to our ankle, to our calf, or helping it get to the inside of our inner thigh. This is palm tree. This is like that iconic yoga pose. So whether it's on the inner thigh, or in the inner ankle, or the inner calf, it's totally fine, totally okay, whichever side you want, whatever is available to you, comfortable for you today. We'll take our hands at heart center. We'll use the tension between pushing off of our foot into our standing leg, and also pushing off of our standing leg into the bottom of our foot. And it's that tension that keeps us upright. Perhaps a metaphor for life? I don't know. What do you think? Taking those arms up to the center. And it's okay if you sway, trees sway. Maybe you spread your branches. Breathing. And then releasing and shaking off that standing foot. Shifting your weight onto your right leg. Taking that left leg to the same level that you had on the other side. So whether it was your ankle, your inner calf, or your inner thigh, we never want to take it to the inside of our knee. So using the tension, pushing off of the bottom of your foot into the inside of your standing leg, no matter what the level, then using that standing leg to push back onto the bottom of your foot. Taking our hands to heart center. And it's okay if that little foot is doing a happy dance. It's totally fine, because that is not where our balance comes from. Our balance comes from our core and from the tension in between our feet and our standing leg. Taking those arms up high. Maybe you spread those branches. And then you can shake it off. Shaking off that foot. Excellent. Now we're going to move into eagle pose. Just kind of that pretzel looking pose. Lots of fun. Stepping onto your left leg. If you've got shorter legs, you might not like this pose. But it's okay. It's still good for you. In yoga, there's going to be poses that, depending on our body type, we like better. It's okay. They're all good for us. Stepping onto your left foot, we'll come into kind of a chair pose on one leg, like you're sitting in a chair. Then we're going to wrap that right leg over the left, like a lady sitting in a bar stool wearing a mini skirt. So no air between those legs. You're crossing those legs nice and tight. Now maybe you take that right foot and wrap your toes around that standing leg. Got to bend your knee a little more for that. Or maybe you just have that right foot kind of balancing on your tippy toes. Whatever is good for you. Now eagle arms, you're going to take right under left. And then you're going to squat a teensy bit deeper on that left hand. Bringing your elbows up to a 90-degree angle with your shoulders. Finding a place to focus on the wall ahead of you. Keeping your elbows and your knees facing the front of the room. Rolling your shoulders back, gently tucking that pelvis, and breathing. It's okay if we waver. We're strong. And then release. Then you can shake it off. Do some little Heidi slaps. Then we'll move on to the other side. Shifting your weight onto your right leg. Taking left over right. Squeezing it tight. Taking eagle arms, left under right. Taking it up to a 90-degree angle, your elbows coming up to your shoulder height, bending a little deeper on that right leg, keeping those knees and elbows facing the front of the room, breathing. And it's okay if you come out of it, just come right back. It's okay if that foot's doing a happy dance. You're just strengthening those feet. Be nice and strong through the winter months until we get back to sandal weather. And then shaking it off. All right, good job with your balance poses. We're going to take it down to the mat. So I'm going to adjust it so we can still see each other. So we're going to do a couple of abs. We're going to come into boat. So in boat pose, we've got our sit bones on the mat. We're going to take our feet up to a 90-degree angle. So we've got our knees out in front of us and our palms facing the ceiling, rolling our shoulders back and doing our best to be up on those sit bones, not back on our lower back, but kind of balancing on those sit bones and maybe at the bottom of your tailbone. We're going to breathe here. Then gently start to tap your feet. 1, 2. 1, 2. Doing good. Rolling those shoulders back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now let's extend long, coming onto our sacrum. And then come back up. 10, 9. Excellent. Keep going. 5, 4, 3. Almost done. 2, and 1. Hold it, hold it, hold it. If you flutter those feet. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Very nice. Maybe you roll over onto your tummy and push it back up into that King Cobra, getting a nice stretch in those abs. I'll show you what it looks like from this direction. Just stretching out those abs. Excellent. Rolling back over onto your back. We're going to take our heels towards our sit bones. So we're laying down flat, taking those heels towards our sit bones as close as they'll get. We're pushing our feet, the palms of our hands, and our shoulder blades into the mat. Gently tilting our pelvis up to the sky, and then pushing those hips up to the sky, coming into bridge pose. Squeezing those inner thighs towards one another. Maybe you roll those shoulder blades a little bit underneath your body so that your fingertips can reach for one another underneath your bum. Maybe you interlace your fingers, coming in for a bind. Continuing to squeeze those inner thighs towards one another. And then releasing it down to the mat. Bring those knees into your chest. A little knee hug. Squeezing from left to right, or rolling your left side and then your right side. Taking those feet back down to the mat. Rolling back up. We're going to come onto all fours for one more back strengthening stretch. So we're going to lift our right hand and our left leg. So this is what it looks like. Left leg out straight, right arm out straight. And you're going to hold it there as you breathe. In through your nose, out through your nose. Maybe you take it out to the side and then bring it back. Out to the side. Bring it back. Side. And back. And then switch it out. Left hand high, right leg extended long. like someone's pulling your hands and your feet into opposite directions. Take it out to the side, and then back, side, back, side, and back. Breathing as you hold it. Your gaze just a few feet in front of you, and then releasing it. Sitting those sit bones back, coming into child's pose. So maybe your knees are open in child's pose, maybe your knees are closed. Either way, you've got your forehead resting on your mat. Let's take that right arm and thread the needle. Taking that right hand, palm facing up to the sky. To stretch that shoulder out more, you can kind of roll into that right shoulder. The more you roll into the shoulder, the more stretch you'll get, the more intense the stretch. And then switching it out for the left hand underneath. Excellent. Inhaling back up to all fours. Finding your way back on to your sit bones. Rolling back, taking a knee hug. Maybe opening up those feet for happy baby as you reach for the bottoms of your feet with your hands. Or maybe you use your peace fingers to reach for your big toes. And just rocking from left to right like a happy baby. It's okay if this pose makes you giggle. It should. We're being happy babies right now. I see my little 8-month-old nephew do this, and I think he's going to be a yogi one day. In Jesus' name. Excellent. Taking those knees back to the floor. And let's go ahead and take that right knee high. I'm sorry, that right leg high. So maybe you've got that left leg bent. Maybe you've got it extended out long. But either way, we're just gonna reach for our right leg. So maybe it's fingertips. Maybe you've got a strap and you use your strap to hold that leg up. We're just gonna breathe into that hamstring as we stretch out the back of that right leg. And then we'll take it out to the side, kind of creating a tabletop with your left hand to protect that knee. Stretching that inner thigh, but using that right hip to continue to ground you. So you don't want to roll over, okay? You want to stay with that right hip grounded, even with that left leg out to the side. And we'll gently take it into our right hand and take it across the body. And this is your left leg that we're doing. I'm sorry if I said it right. Left leg across the body. And if you're doing the right leg, just keep going and then we'll switch. Feeling that IT band stretch down that left leg, starting at the outside of your left foot, working its way all the way to your hip. Excellent. Bringing that leg back to center, facing it back down as you switch out for the other one. So switch it out for the other leg and take that leg high, breathing into that hamstring. Opening it out to the right. Keeping that left hip grounded, or the opposite hip, keeping the opposite hip grounded as you get to that inner thigh stretch on the leg that's out to the side, and then gently take it across the body to the other side, feeling that IT band stretch from the outside of your foot all the way to your hip. Breathing into any of those tight places, sending your breath there. It's a mental exercise, but it really does help. Thinking about sending your breath to the tight places. Bringing it back up to center. And then taking both knees bent, bringing them into your chest. Opening up your arms into a T. Letting your hips fall over to one side. Taking your gaze across the other side. Maybe you get a little snap, crackle, pop in your back. Your arms are out in airplane arms. Your gaze is over this opposite side from where your legs are. And then we'll take it back up to center. Let it fall over to the opposite side. And let your gaze fall to the opposite side. Bringing it back up to the middle. Coming in for a knee hug, stretching nice and tight. All the way, flexing all the different muscles, even your face. Just squeeze tight, tight, tight. And then stretch out. You made it. This is your Shavasana. So our Shavasana is our final resting pose. It's where we just get to meditate and focus on what the Lord has for us. So just windshield wiper your feet, kind of shake them left to right, making sure they're nice and relaxed. Windshield wiper them on the floor. Just let that space in between your forehead, in between your forehead and your hairline and your eyebrows, in between the two eyebrows, just letting it all just melt and release and relax. Letting your tongue just rest from the roof of your mouth and melt into the back of your jaw. Letting your shoulders just release and relax. Maybe you walk them underneath your body slightly just to open up your heart more. You can let your breath come naturally. And your chest and tummy rise and fall as your breath comes in and out. Your hips are relaxed, your legs are relaxed, and your fingers and toes curl naturally. Just breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Just grateful for this time that we had together. Grateful for our bodies, we're able to practice yoga. Just be still. Maybe you remember your intention. What was that thing that you were focused on? What was the Lord speaking today? What's He speaking now? My role as a yoga practitioner is to guide you to get your body healthy enough and your mind clear enough so that you may listen and hear God for yourself. Just going to turn the music down. As you just rest. God, I just thank you so much, Lord. I thank you so much for the practice of yoga, that you gave us an exercise to bring our minds and our spirits and our bodies into alignment. God, I just thank you for your presence that's been with each of us today as we practiced. Lord, I thank you for our bodies that are strong. Lord, I just ask for a refilling of your Holy Spirit. I ask your Holy Spirit would just fill us anew today. You would give us strength. God, you say in Deuteronomy that you give us strength for all of our days. That you know the number of our days and you give us strength that is equal to that. So God, I just pray that you would increase our faith. You would bring our awareness to the strength that you've given us and to the peace that your presence carries, that we get to carry too through your Son, Jesus Christ. I thank you so much for this time. I thank you. You're so good. You're so good. I pray that we could see that today. In Jesus' name. You begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Just wiggling them, bringing life back to your body. Raise that right arm up to your right ear and gently roll over onto your right side. Kind of creating a pillow for yourself with your right arm. Breathing in the gratefulness that we had for this time together. Breathing in a fresh new breath of the Lord's goodness and His grace and His provision, His strength for the day. And using that left arm, reaching over to push yourself up, making your way into a comfortable seated position, whether your legs are crossed, Indian style, or your feet together. Maybe your eyes are still closed. Maybe you're looking at the world through eyelashes. We're going to sit tall on our sit bones, breathing in one more big inhale together, reaching our arms to the center, up high, and exhaling as we bring them down to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. It was my pleasure. God bless you, and namaste. Thanks, guys. If you liked this practice, look forward to lots more coming soon.